Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to our stream of Pathfinder 2nd Edition. I want to jump right into the action. So I'm going to introduce the characters and then talk a little bit about our sponsors. And yeah, how about we start with Mitchell? Actually, let's do Mitchell last. Let's start with Jen.
Hi, I am Jen. I am playing Reka, the lizard folk druid.
And Alex.
Hey, hey everyone, I'm Alex. I'm coming back for another game of Pathfinder. You can find me here in Penny for a Tale tomorrow on Cults, as well as every other Monday for my Star Wars game. I am playing the Director, a gnome bard. I was gonna say barbarian, gnome bard, and I'm excited to be here again.
He's a barbarian.
Yeah, that'd be
And
hilarious.
Spence.
I am Spence. I live on the internet. And you can see me also tomorrow on Cult. Tuesday, we're doing a one-shot that I'm running. And then all of my other stuff is on my Twitch channel, Resident Moon. And I am playing Modica, what am I? I'm a halfling rogue.
What are you?
I don't know.
Who am I?
And Thor is coming to visit, so if I disappear, basically Monica goes into a trance and is very sad.
In there. And Mr. Smith.
Hello, I'm Mr. Smith, a resident cybersecurity, psychology, and scotch drinker. I will be playing Rune Ravenswood this evening, wizard with strong ambitions. Cheers, all.
And then last but certainly not least, we have Mitch.
So last week, I got stabbed in the face in a most heroic battle against the door. And today I will be playing a new character, but you shall find out more a little bit later on. But now that the fictional important things are out of the way, I guess we'll go to the real things. My name's Mitchell, part of Penny for a Tale. Love TTRPGs, and super excited to be on.
Woo! Yeah, and I just want to give a shout out to our sponsors. Fantasy Grounds has released Fantasy Grounds Unity in beta. Absolutely check it out. Probably the biggest hurdle to getting a campaign off the ground is setting up basically like hosting it online with a server, and Fantasy Grounds completely takes care of it. So it's even easier to get started now. They have map making tools too. Totally free to try. So go to fantasygrounds.com. I also want to give a shout out to the Only Sheet. They have, if you can see Mr. Smith, he has some of the tools there. It's like 100% Excel based and 100% automated. We can use it to make Pathfinder characters, I think 1st and 2nd edition. But if you're doing something like a game in person, or if you're not using Fantasy Grounds, 100% recommend it. It's super nice. And also Michael Gelfi on YouTube will be making the ambience that we'll use tonight. Without further ado, though, let's take it into the city of Breach Hill, where we've been residing for the last couple of months. So we're right about in the beginning of spring here in the city. And it looks to be that the main villain of the moment has gotten away. As much as we tried, we can't seem to track her down, except for maybe a couple of rumors that she might be lurking somewhere nearby. We ended last session on the heels of a bit of a twist. So at the end of a performance by the director, our heroes gather, likely headed to Cadence Keg for the night to celebrate and party, and they were stopped right as they were leaving, headed over into town, to the center of town, where their inn is. Go ahead, Mitch.
Yeah. So, approaching you is a gentleman with kind of black eyes with green pupils, dark hair braided with kind of gold caps on it, a white green hood, that kind of goes down. Some armor as well as a wooden cane with a gold top. He has white paint all throughout his face and going down to his neck, as well as a gold triangular medallion kind of clipped to his cloak. And he approaches in a very wry and suave manner, specifically to the director. Places his cane before him, places 2 hands upon it, looking the director right in the eye. He says, "Hello, are you the director?"
Oh, yes, of course. Autographs, of course. And he'll start to reach into his pocket to fish out a pen. I get this sometimes, guys. Don't worry. Yes. I am the director. Where would you like me to sign?
Well, if you're offering signatures, I guess and I'll pull out a book, which is the history of grass, and he'll kind of flip open the front and.
The director would lean over or stretch up because he's a little short and be like, oh yes, of course, right here, and he'll draw something that resembles a signature. Yes, I take it you loved my performance and that is why you are here.
Yes, I would say it's definitely among the top 30 performances I've seen in the last century.
Oh yes, this is quite a jewel in my vast array of wonderful plays that I have and will be doing. Yes.
Well, I look forward to seeing it.
Since I am short enough, can I see that the title of the book is the history of grass?
I would say yeah.
Okay. Director.
Yes.
You wrote the history of grass.
Oh, did I? Huh.
I don't think so. No, I think the author is quite hidden. I don't think anyone actually wanted to claim credit for writing this particular piece. I mean,
I see. So what is it exactly that you were
The history
looking?
of grass was written by an Alberta Witherspoon.
Oh, thank you.
About
So what
15
is?
years.
A really dry subject.
So friend,
you can call me Mr. Inzokul.
Mitchell, would I recognize you at all or no?
I guess it's GM. Ian, what do you think?
recognize an Akuje elf
Yes.
because you would know that they're from the Mwangi Expanse, but you don't recognize him.
Okay. And then I guess my other question is, as far as my character is aware, are they all wiped out or
You don't really know. You don't think so. It'd be silly to
Okay.
think that they're all wiped out.
That's
But
why I wanted to ask.
you do wonder, however, if all the ones you've ever known are. But as a race, certainly not.
so, Director, I think he actually has come to ask you something, not for your signature.
Oh, well, he can have that too.
Yes.
He'll be able to sell it. A lot of money someday.
Oh,
Right now,
I look forward to it, and I plan to sit on it for the time being. And as much as I do appreciate Mr. Director, this lavish signature upon one of my personages, I did have a question concerning the Scarlet Triad.
Yes, yeah, that's certainly a story. He'll look kind of back to his
Well,
compatriots.
if you don't mind me interrupting you, I suggest maybe we go to a tavern. I can provide you a libation that could quench thy thirst, and you could orchestrate to me that particular story. If
Oh, absolutely. If it's one thing that I like to do, it's tell a good story. But you have to
Why are you nervous?
I'm sorry. It's It's just
Do
my
you
my.
have something to hide?
Oh no! I am a keeper of the law of sorts. I mean, in that I've
Do
memorized.
you have a speech impediment?
No, I don't think so. I just
Okay.
like to choose my words carefully and do my I'm sorry if it's annoying
It's
you.
all right. No, it's more that we are careful with whose company we keep.
When we have a stranger who appears out of nowhere to ask about certain individuals with
Yes.
violent reputations,
Yes.
and this individual seems very squirrely and uncomfortable in how they comport themselves, but then wishes to have us go somewhere private.
No, not
to
private.
discuss
A tavern.
these things.
Filled with individuals of your choosing, of course.
Reka, let's give him the benefit of the doubt.
I did not mean to infer that I am some sort of squirrely individual. More so, there are some aspects of myself I can control, and others that I have a difficulty controlling. And unfortunately, this sort of excitement that sometimes tries to escape from my lips is something that I am unable to control.
You will come with us, and you will also answer our questions as we answer yours. Does that seem a fair exchange?
I guess so. I
Then
don't
we
know
will go.
what answers
Stop talking.
I could provide. Really, I just wanted
The director is still listening to him. The director is like, yeah.
the director to Mr. Director to regale me with the story concerning the Scarlet Triad.
You
And
use a lot of words and say very little. Let us go to the tavern now.
oh well,
Where does the party want to go? So you're just leaving the pickled ear. You've earned her respect.
Bryn's place.
Say again?
We'll head to Bryn's place. We'll make it simple and go to
Games
Bryn's
yep.
place.
Keep it classic.
keep it classy.
I mean,
y'all.
that's our hangout now. I hop on the back of Aldonis.
It
And
truly became the haunt of the badasses of town. There's always something
We're the Knights of Badassery.
crazy happening, and Bryn Tate and Forby and Crow really built a reputation recently that they never really had here. Yeah, so as you arrive, it's really almost religiously kept to be the epitome of a classic tavern, and then they always try to keep it that way for the sake of Caden, because even best case scenario, you want to keep the image of just the love of drinking more than anything as a quality, because this place is a religious hall as much as a place to drink and sleep. And as you guys arrive, you'll note that Bryn has a troubled look on her face, which might inform you that Xavi is still unconscious or in some other odd state. She can't break it, but she wants you guys to have fun. So what do you guys want to do here?
Is Xavi like staying in her room here?
Yeah, Xavi is healthy.
Okay.
She's being fed, but she's just in stasis.
So I'm gonna say, as canon, that since I still want to read that book, I read that book aloud to her every day.
Aw.
That's very sweet.
It's also
probably
self-serving.
could be torment to her. She didn't want you to read the book. Okay. What else do you guys want to do while you're here?
Well, the director on the way would be talking to this new person and
Yeah.
going on about whatever story, but not particularly about anything that he would want to know. Like, he's not going to talk about the Scarlet Triad until they get to the bar.
Right.
So then I started blasting.
Rika would just basically be like watching him suspiciously because they are a very paranoid lizard.
Rune will listen intently to the Scarlet Triad story.
Yeah. You can even make a check. If you'd like. If anybody thinks they have a relevant check to this.
Yeah, do I need to make a check?
Society?
Yeah.
Ring a bell. Society is the check. Society is the way to win it.
Society, you said?
Mm-hmm.
No lore theater?
I think lore theater applies to everything.
It applies to everything in all the wrong ways.
Okay.
That's a good roll.
Oh, drop it in the tower next, by the way. The
Okay.
little dice
Oh.
tower icon.
Oops.
No, you're
But
fine.
that's a good roll, though.
That is a good roll.
That is
Ah.
for lore theater, and then this is for society, because
We do
I'd
live
love
in
to
a
know the story
society.
as well.
Director, you know nothing. You can make something up.
Yep.
Rune, you don't
Okay.
recall anything about it. You could just be thinking of something that sounds similar. And Reika, you know it's nothing to talk about loudly. It's the kind of an organization you don't know anything about, and you usually die before you find anything out.
Yeah. So my response totally like
Yeah, I'd say it's warranted.
excellent.
So,
So
yeah.
like it's one of those things where like the lizard eyes narrow even more.
Yeah.
And yeah, the director is just going to start talking about something. The Scarlet Triad. The story goes. Well, sit down. We'll get a drink.
Yes,
We'll get some
of course.
drinks.
He'll raise his hand politely, waiting for someone to come
There's
serve
nobody
him.
else in here, right? It's just us.
An inappropriately dressed tall man with sleek black hair comes over to fill your mug.
Excellent. Can I have a spot of tea, preferably with some lemon on the side? And do you have any maybe tomato soup as well as a grilled cheese sandwich?
He's just gonna walk away from you.
Is that a how much?
And the Scarlet Triad.
Covered.
So.
Oh, hold on, Mr. Director. Did he take my order or?
I don't know.
Can I do perception, Ian?
Yes, you can. Now would be the time to gang up on
Did
this
that work?
newcomer. And if you have questions.
Whoa! Wait, what?
Don't see it.
I tried to put it in the tab because it's a little castle icon, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you just put it in there, right?
Yeah.
You click and drag it over to the tower.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Click and drag.
Don't know
Click
if
and
it's
drag.
if you're using your bonus or if you're using
Does that
a
work?
skill check. So main, you're making a perception check.
Yes.
Yeah, you drag whatever it says the total is. It's yours says +8. You drag
Yeah.
the +8 button.
That's what I've been doing. Oh, wait. Oh, it works.
Yes.
There we go.
What are you using perception for?
I wanted to see if the waiter, number one, is somebody that we had seen before, and if to check if they are should be where in this space, or if this is like a plant or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Fortunately, if you've been here even once before, and you've been here quite a few times over the last almost month and a half, he's been here this entire time.
Okay.
His name's Jacob Crow, but as Bryn had become inundated with responsibilities like making sure Shavi is okay, he started taking over duties. So this isn't his calling, but he's willing to do the work while it needs to be done. But things like big dinner orders is what gets on his nerves.
Okay. Cool.
And he'll return to the table, actually, with a bowl of soup and an old tomato. Tomato soup.
No, sir, I'm sorry. Tomato soup is a type of soup. I actually don't recall how it's made, but nonetheless, it's creamy and usually a tad bit of.
Do you see a menu?
No, actually, if you don't mind, I would very much like to see a menu here.
There isn't one.
I see.
This
How does this?
This is not a restaurant. This is.
Is this not a tavern? Where? Oh, then I am sorry. This is a place just to rest and drink. Is there a place where I might abide by some food and maybe a bit of tea?
Hey, Jacob. Hey,
Rika,
Jacob.
Yeah.
Sorry. You know the seasoned potatoes? Can we just get like a couple plates of those? Thanks.
Well,
I know you're the best. You're always the best.
Thank you, Mr. Jacob. Potatoes will do just nicely. It's not what I woke up hoping to. I was really kind of tantalizingly dreaming about the tomato soup.
You can't always get what you want.
Yes,
Enzo,
this is true.
You want something from us. So
hold on.
how about you begin with... You think that this is a request?
What? Wait.
Oh.
Are you?
Where are
Hold
you
on.
from?
Are you threatening me?
Hold on.
Where are you from?
Everyone
How
stop.
did you get here?
Everyone stop.
Uh,
All right. Everyone's talking over each other. We're not getting anywhere, and we're getting there very fast. So, could you please introduce yourself again?
Yes, I am, Mr. Inzokul. I, as you can see, am an elf. Somewhat of a scholar. I came in, search of information concerning the Scarlet Triad. Someone passed along the name of Mr. Director here, and, that's how I came to you. Is the tea still on the table,
We'll
or
get you tea.
okay,
We'll
with
get you-
a bit of lemon, if that's okay too.
With lemon.
Yes.
Got it.
And
You want tea,
possibly some-
lemon, a grilled cheese sandwich,
And possibly
what
some
else?
ginger with that tea as
Ginger.
well. I feel a slight bit warm, and I think maybe the
All right. So you understand that you have a tea with lemon, some ginger, and a grilled cheese sandwich coming. You understand that, correct?
is it in fact coming, or are you just telling me
While
this?
this is happening, Reika will
Yes.
pull out like a small critter from like her bag and just bite its head off and continue to like watch this conversation.
Whew.
I'm not going to presume that someone here is specifically making those things right now. However, I will make sure you get them.
Oh well, thank you very much, Mr.
My name is Rune.
Looks a
Mr.
little
Mr.
underdone.
Mr. Rune. It is a pleasure to meet you.
She'll like
It's
take
just
the
Rune, by
phone
the way.
and like
Oh, I prefer to keep a slight bit of politeness, professionalism between myself and then others that I am not particularly acquainted with. Now, if
I
we
completely
would
understand. My last name is Ravenswood.
Ravenswood, Mr. Ravenswood. It is a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Ravenswood.
Pleasure to meet you too.
I see you are a individual of the mystical arts of some sort. Yes.
I am.
Oh, well, congratulations. How is your research going, your studies?
Oh, they're fine, thank you. How about you? What do you do?
Oh, well, I am primarily just a scholar, a finder of things, an acquirer of different items. That is really all I have. I dabble of sorts in some particular magics, but most of it is due in part to a very special incident. But nonetheless, it's kind of a short story for that. But I don't think relevant to the current predicament. The
We'll have
director.
a list of things to talk about later.
Oh yes, of course. I would
Excellent.
love to engage in any sort of discourse concerning the magical arts with you.
All right. Now, you're here to learn about the
Scarlet
Triad.
Triad. Yes, sir.
Right. So, pause on that very quickly. Mm-hmm. You must understand we've currently run into a rather successive bit of hurdles over the last few weeks, and having someone just randomly come up and speak to one of our members is a bit disconcerting, regardless of how innocuous you might seem.
Mm-hmm.
So, why don't you tell us a story about how you learned about us, why you're here about the Scarlet Triad, and how you got to be here in general. Is that about
Yes.
covered, Reka?
Yes, you are very far from home.
Yes.
And also, can we not say the name of the organization that loud?
Oh, is this town have several members of its company
It's-
in here?
It's more that you're really dumb if you go around shouting about them.
Ah, I see. Now this is just kind of learning different things about this organization. Interesting. Well, As I say, my name is Mr. Nzokul. I am from a particular force, a particular sect of elves called the Ukajai. What else? I guess I came upon the director from an individual while I was researching the Scarlet Triad. The Scarlet Triad is of important note because, it is an organization that I feel I should grow accustomed to know. I am a collector of facts and knowledge, and I don't know what more specific I can be.
So, this group
Yes.
is a group that is specifically kept secret for reasons of those who ask too many questions tend to disappear mysteriously. You found this out, this secret organization, on a whim.
Yes. I mean, I've been around for a very long time. It's I listen very well. I'm quite the investigator. I'm surprised I've just learned of it, honestly.
Can I make an insight check?
I was gonna say the same thing. I think that's some kind of perception check, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it just perception, and that's okay.
Is it?
Yeah, it's just
I think so,
perception.
because there's no.
They took out insight and stuff like that.
Okay. And what's this perception in context?
Seeing if he's lying.
Ding.
Well, Mitch, you can make a bluff check, or you can concede telling them the answer.
Where's my bluff? Oh,
Everyone
deception.
sees Rune take a scroll from Jacob, looks at it, and just sort of chuckles.
Oh, something funny.
You'll see momentarily. I'll let the conversation finish real quick.
Did you get that?
Yeah, your deception was far worse than everyone else's perception. So just act accordingly.
Yes, that's the that's a bit of it. We've been around for quite some time.
So, what do we perceive?
He's probably withholding information.
You did not answer my question. Who told you this thing? Why is this of interest? How did you come to learn of this secret organization that disappears individuals who ask these questions?
I will reach up to Reika and pull on Reika's shirt. If he doesn't start telling the truth soon, we can threaten to feed him to Aldonis. That would be fun. We've realized over the downtime that Reika and I are very much alike.
Yes. You do understand that legally you can do no harm to my person, correct?
I was whispering, so you should not have been able to hear that.
Oh, I'll do perception checks.
You passed. If you're
Okay.
whispering from.
So, yeah, okay.
I guess then the next question is, can I roll legal lore to know if we can or not?
Because he's getting on our nerves.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, are you not supposed to see what the result is?
That's why we're doing it in the
Uh-huh.
tower. That
Okay.
Yeah,
way.
it doesn't have to be for everything. Just things
Sure.
where I want to be able to.
Okay.
Probably
Do
like
you have a grilled cheese sandwich, Mitchell?
Like with knowledge checks and lore checks, you don't have to make.
Saw that.
Okay.
the power, just-
Yeah, so I guess what do I, do I know enough to tell if he's full of shit with the legalness?
Legalese.
If he's making something up, you'll know. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So what he just said with the you can't legally harm my person, like, is that true, or is he just bluffing?
Like, or like, you know, sorry, I guess I should say, like, is there some specific thing where he has, like, would I know if he has, if the title that he has or whatever grants him some sort of immunity or...
Yeah, it's more that people who have a lot of money in Valerian have a lot of power. So if he's paid by someone who's really wealthy and you kill him, you might invoke wrath.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, so you might even know better than he does that it's not a good idea to kill him. But
all right, so let's not go too far with.
Yeah, it's quite impolite. I was not.
Well, you're
hold
being
on.
impolite.
Yeah,
Yes.
let's look at this both ways. Again, you must have to understand we've had to deal with an attack on this town. One of our compatriots getting framed because of a liar. That individual then ran off to a location to harm allies of ours, and then drug us through the mud for all intents and purposes. So, leaving anything out right now is not really ideal to engender our support or
Goodwill.
True,
Yeah.
but you came to this situation as sort of an interrogation, which is not a great way to start any
So I will
alliance.
concede to that part, which is why I've attempted to engender a fairly diplomatic and straightforward conversation.
All I wanted was a story, really.
You will have
Yeah.
your story. We just need to understand more about why you're here, and to be completely honest, we just need to feel the warm and fuzzies about you.
Well, I can honestly say, I mean you no harm. I mean most civilized individuals no harm. I am a man of the law and respect life in all forms. I'm not a bad person. I like to think so, though of course we can argue the gravity of such an implication, as well as what does that mean morally, because can anyone truly be good? Does
You
does
seem
that...
to be stuck up.
I wouldn't say I'm... Why do you think I'm stuck up?
You're a learned individual. You use large words for unnecessary reasons.
And you order
Obfuscate the
people
truth.
about. You also order people about without asking the question, "Do you have?" first. You make assumptions and then put everybody out.
I'm sorry. I've been traveling for a while, and I guess some societies are a little bit more rigid with their expectations. When I assumed tavern, I anticipated a certain function, and when it wasn't met, there was a slight confusion. It's kind of like going to an apple tree and picking an apple and finding that it's an orange. I think would be the comparison there.
All right. Going to do a perception to sort of look, considering the, meaning us no harm statements and what have you. Attempting to discern if this individual truly means us no harm, which I presume is the case, but let's make sure, shall we? Perception, right?
Mm-hmm.
Rune, you'll know this, perhaps better than anybody. Harmless-looking people can do great harm, and that's something you might have learned from university. So even somebody who looks as unthreatening as Inzakul here could really do a lot of damage. So it's a good call. Your perception was so-so, probably below average for you in terms of results. He seems harmless.
All right. Are you
Is he lost? Or is he...
You say there was an accident that allowed you to garner some magical ability.
Yes. Of sorts.
If I may ask, what were the events surrounding that?
Well, it was really a bit of snow and scorching. Regardless, and he'll pull up his sleeve, and there's this on his right hand. There's like these icy veins that go up to his hand. This bit of what's it, intrusion upon my flesh allows me to call up ice from his hand. But that's about it.
Cultism, Arcana, Nature. What do you want, Ian?
Let's do Arcana.
Arcana. Rune is looking at your arm from a distance, but intently.
Yeah, no clue there. You know shapes. You know where to go if you want to figure more out about it.
All right. Rune will look to his companions. I don't perceive any specific issues with this individual, unless a lot of you have any other specific questions for him. Perhaps we can allow this organization conversation to continue in some form or fashion.
What do you know of the Kalendi tribe?
The Kaledi. Why, that is a fascinating bit of a tribe. I'm curious how you came upon this knowledge, being what you are.
Wait a second. Sorry. How old thereabouts are you? Were you around?
Oh, well, I am going to be celebrating my 200 and I believe 77th birthday upon the first passing of winter.
And Ian,
Yes.
about like how old did we say Reika was? Like
40s?
40s? Okay. Were you with the tribe 40-ish years ago?
And I think some pieces are coming together. What is your name?
My name is Reika.
Reika. Oh, that is a splendid name. You look very familiar, and I do believe we might have even crossed paths, some 40 years ago.
And just like that, I think right about the same time, you guys, what was a very blurry, traumatic memory of a fateful day, starting to feel crystal clear again, now that you can connect a face to the memory, as you both realize that the perilous journey that took 3.5 weeks of fleeing a dragon cult as you made way to the shores in pursuit of a better life, as the Akuje tribes fell under attack. Well, you realize that for you, Reika, the person that escorted you to safety and placed you in a ship, well, that is the person before you now. And you might have remembered him as far more muscular and more of a hunter type. Now he seems to be scrawny, like he did all 277 years of aging in the last 4 decades.
Oh no!
Likewise, Enzakul, you do remember this young hatchling had just about the same color scales as what appears to be a massive bearded dragon before you.
Oh, Reika. Can you stand up apart from the table and may I embrace you?
She just kind of like but like it's just sort of still in shock, so the motions are like very stilted. And awkward.
He'll hug you and be like, oh, you've grown up so much.
Jacob Crow looks over as he's dicing the potatoes, and he's like,
Rune is just looking. Rune's doing the exact same thing. He's like, I don't.
The director,
they were gonna kill each other a second ago.
the director is like feverishly writing this. Wait, go over this. Wait, one more time.
Say that line again.
How do you guys know each other? Yeah. How did this all go?
Reika just like looks at him and is just like, if I had tear ducts, I would be crying.
I will cry for us both. Oh, it warms my heart to see you. Such a.
What has become of you? You were so small.
We're really without the training regimens of my tribe and not knowing where else to go. I wandered the lands of.
What became of everyone when we left? It was. I had heard nothing. I've been searching all this time.
Unfortunately, my tribe was wiped out. It is just a graveyard now.
I'm so sorry.
I've had a very long time to grieve, I do appreciate it. But today is a momentous day. Mr. Jacob, 2 spots of tea, each one with lemon, please. Oh, this is a wonderful occasion. Oh.
Like those teas with whiskey.
Rune will look at Jacob Crow and lift up the scrolls. Like, do you have another one of these by chance?
It should cover it.
That's fine. I would just like to keep it. I want a copy.
Yeah, actually, yeah. He'll retrieve a second one for you.
Yes.
Thank you very much. At which point, Rune will throw up the scroll in midair. It sort of unfurls and
Reika will like clap him on the shoulder and be like, I would trust this man with my life, and I have. Just like daring anybody to say otherwise.
I thank you, Reika.
Quizzically look at Reika. I would like to point out you wanted to rip his face off not 20 minutes ago. And I was attempting to keep you at bay. Let's recognize that and let me feed you all.
Yeah.
That is not what was
So
happening.
this spell
That's just how I talk to people.
Okay.
That was my asking questions.
I knew he was fine from the beginning because he liked my play. That's all I need to know, is that a quality person likes my plays.
That is a fair point, Director. So Rune will draw a circle on the table in front of him. It begins to glow sort of a violet bluish color. He says a few words and through wisps of smoke and sort of a whispering cawing of ravens, food and drink will begin to appear. Specifically, the requested grilled cheese with some ginger on the side, 2 teas with lemon. As you requested, Mr. Enzokul. You're quite welcome.
The metal platter filled with roasted seasoned potatoes. That's a halfling recipe. Makes its way to the table, and I think I'm gonna draw the curtain on night scene. Yeah. You guys will enjoy a merry
spiced potatoes
evening of reading to a woman in full physical paralysis, and also catching up on the last 40 years of life on this half of the planet.
And again, like, I want to establish like Reika is typically very like, you know, few words, monotone, gruff, like, you know, rawr. But this is like, she is showing emotion and like like as happy as someone like that can be. That is what is happening, and it's like very jarring because it's like one of those situations where like this is clearly a face that was not made for smiling at all. So like
the effect is more terrifying than it is reassuring, but there we are.
And then at one point, I will stop reading and just start talking to Shavi and be like, "Wait, so 1 second, we both were on the same page. That this guy was super suspicious, definitely lying to us and everything. And then the next second, you know, Reika's like, I will defend him with my life. And I'm like, wait a minute. You and I were on the same page. And then she just freaking switches sides on me. Like, I thought she and I had come to an understanding. Like, we were making real progress. And now it's just, I don't get it anymore. Okay.
Shavi frozen
so
solid,
then-
eyes glowing red and,
So-
and golden sunburst.
Then the dragon Tiamat was on the
Bedtime stories. So, well, sun rises, and pre-dawn, it always tends to feel like winter again for a little bit at this altitude. But you know it's a couple days into spring, and the first visitor of the day arrives long before the tavern opens. Some of you might only just be getting out of bed now. And it's Helba.
Oh.
Returning all the way from the Citadel. As you guys might be pouring your
Hello,
morning
Helba.
coffee. Hello, Rune.
Helba.
Everything all right?
Hey.
He looks disturbed.
I look disturbed?
Helba does.
Oh,
What's
what's
wrong?
wrong?
At this rate, if she was on foot, she must. You posit she might have even set out before the sun rose. Alec, he.
What did he do?
Nothing yet. I think.
We need to come back.
he's-
Are the bumble brushes all right?
We're fine. But he tells us we need to leave.
Does he say why?
It's Hell Knight business.
All right. We'll get everyone together and we'll head out to you. If you wait for a moment, we'll travel back with you.
Of course.
I get her some coffee or something.
Okay, great. And I take it. I take it, Reika. You're gonna explain to our new friend here that he's forced to tag along on this journey.
Yeah, actually, so, I mean, I guess we can segue into it, where, you know, she pulls out the medallion and is just like, do you recall giving this to me?
Oh, that was quite a long time ago. But yes, it was very important in the tribe. You wouldn't. May I look at it briefly?
Of course.
Excellent.
But you should know that this led me here.
This led you here.
Yes. And there is the Citadel. There's something within it that is pulling it.
Interesting.
And it might be related to the Akushe.
Well, I believe this warrants investigation.
Indeed.
May
Uh,
may I tell you? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Miss Reika.
So, you're gonna come with us, right?
Oh, of course. And may I tell you something in confidence?
Of course.
Part of the reason why I'm here is actually concerning the Mr. Director. You see, he owes individuals not from around here quite a large sum of coin, and I was sent to acquire a means to retrieve said coin that the gentleman owes.
Are you working for the Scarlet Tribe?
Oh, no. This is no nefarious dealings, nor is something I believe is
Master, what have you gotten yourself involved with?
nothing. It's really just a way to make a bit of coin. Without my tribe, it's been difficult trying to engage in this life, and even the elves aren't really like me. But nonetheless, I found honest work investigating, finding individuals and such. Never for any evil purpose. More so, really, I'm a man of the law. It's something that I understand. And
So, what did these individuals tell you would happen to our director?
oh,
Should
I don't know. They're really concerned about their money more than anything. I don't think they wish the director any harm. But like any institution, when you take out a loan,
Yes.
I do believe you are expected to repay, and it is my understanding that the Mr. Director has fled and has decided not to repay his debt.
that is a problem.
It
But,
is.
my master, if you
Well, you could
yeah,
just call me Mr. Inzokul.
it's too strange. I knew you as a hatchling, and
That's fair.
it is peculiar to meet you on the field as an equal, as there is still much that you can continue to teach me.
Oh, and I'm happy.
But perhaps it would have been better to have led with that when approaching the director.
Oh, well, I found that people who owe people a large sum of money tend to flee once they understand that is the part of the reason why the individual is here. I really...
Do you mind terribly then if I discussed this predicament with Thrune, the wizard, as he has been shown to be the most adept of these individuals?
Of course. Really, my employers were very much content with either seizing any assets that the director had, which could then pay them back, or convincing Mr. Director to return on his own.
I see. We will resolve this in a way that everything is to the standards that you need.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Miss Reika. Let's go talk to this Mr. Rune.
Yeah, and you'll learn Rune has begun to get his horse prepared for travel, and you'll soon also hear the news that the Unforgotten are to make their way to the Citadel, because Alec has done something surprising, but not surprising.
So rude.
Yeah, so you guys, I'll say, how about we're all on the road headed to Breach Hill, and you pass the part of the road that dips off, where you once met the wargs. Like, we're on that grassy part of the road that is just a straight. It's a bit of an incline, and you can see the Citadel. Everything looks normal, but things have gone awry. So, but go ahead.
Yeah, so I guess, Reika would sort of indicate to Rune to have their horses fall back a little bit so they're out of earshot of the others.
That's fair. I'll join. Something wrong, Reika?
So the reason that Enzo Cool appeared is also because he was tasked with the director owes a lot of money, apparently, and he ran out on this debt, and there is concern that he will continue to run from this debt.
Oh, is that all?
it is the impression that I have that Enzo Cool is the nice option for resolving this debt.
I understand.
And there will be less nice options should this continue.
No, I understand. Do you know how much?
I do not, but the amount was implied to be of no small sum.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, Ian, how much was it?
What is even?
Inzakul, you'll know this to be for Vire alone. What you know is that they say with interest it's about 20,000 gold. Just obscene spending. They it's almost an embarrassment on behalf of the parties that lent the money because so many red flags should have. The director.
Like, wait
really
a
is
second.
charmer.
Yeah, you're like being paid with like money with crayons on it.
Yeah.
Like this
Alright,
doesn't look like money at all.
I really need to make sure I heard that right. Did you say 20,000?
Yeah, the director basically he pretty much promised Avatar 2, and then
Where's Avatar 2?
It's like Avatar 2, but they got Waterworld.
Yeah. All discount actors. All Danny DeVitos.
So, was there...
Okay, so I'm going to presume that Reiko isn't told, and therefore Room does not know this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
But again,
that's fine.
it's like she's just like it's not a small amount of money.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, between you and me, Reiko, I'm not overly surprised by this statement, but
Neither am I. But I know that
once
you
we
are
get to the Citadel
closer.
and figure out what's going on there, we'll take it from there. Sound
I
fair?
advise we have this conversation in a place where the director can also not run away or disappear.
I feel that there is enough influence that can be garnered through our activities here. The director will be disinclined to just run. But we'll see.
Yes. I like to have plans for those eventualities.
I am
I
not
find
surprised.
that tends to be more profitable.
Speaking of eventualities, you make it up to the hill, top, and
Does Helba describe what's going on between here and there in any further detail?
you'll learn that Alec has. They think maybe he received a letter or spoken to someone even. Suddenly, he's decided that it's time to tell everything dwelling within the Citadel that, time's up, and it's time for the Citadel to fall back in the hands of the Hell Knight Order of the Nail. But you kind of want to figure out why before it's time to comply, because something about it just doesn't seem right. Doesn't pass the smell test. He was willing to throw the
given
place
he was
away, and
very-
now it's
Was not inclined to really keep it when we left.
yeah.
I also want
as
to
you
make it
arrive-
known I am still riding the back of Aldonis because I'm
Yeah.
making him strong. He is going to be my
And-
warp mount.
Yep.
Aw.
Aldonis is about the size of Spit by now,
Yeah.
growing pretty quickly. But yeah, as you arrive, you'll notice a couple of goblins on their wing of the keep are packing up. They're getting some stuff ready. They don't know what they're supposed to do, but they felt it would look bad to be sitting around.
I call out to them in Goblin saying,
Yeah.
"Hey, how's it going?"
One of the
Okay.
goblins is like he's moving a couch with another goblin. Why do they need a couch? Like if they're like leaving home, but they're
Monica,
What?
do you mind working with goblins to get them squared away and make sure they're not running off just yet?
Oh, I thought you'd never ask.
I figured that's what you would do anyway.
Clearly.
I'll go talk to Alec.
All right. If he's a dick, let me punch him, okay?
Yeah. How's the split? Who else is talking to
Yeah, I
Alec?
will.
Who's got other business?
Director is.
Director. Okay.
I will come along and officially take this on as my case.
Reka and Enzo. Okay.
Yeah, I'll follow him.
All right. So you'll meet him. Good sunlight finally coming into the courtyard. He's polishing off his armor. You see him in clothes. It's rare to see a Hell Knight in their day clothes, save for a couple of weird Hell Knight organizations like the Order of the Albatross or the Order of the Torrent. But yeah, he's polishing off his armor. Trying to look.
My apologies, Sir Knight. I never got your title when last we met.
That's Armiger.
Armiger. It's good to see you again.
Likewise.
I am a bit confused. When we left a few weeks back, you were about ready to not stay too long yourself, and now you are kicking out those who've claimed residence here? Is there a reason?
Well, I'm quite obligated to inform my superiors that I found something of value, especially in the case where it belongs to them. Now, did they throw it away? Sure, they certainly did for a moment. But any opportunity I can to inform my bosses that they've made a bad choice, maybe they can change it.
I see. If I may ask, what by chance did you find?
Well, I suppose you'd have to thank the director.
Suppose I would.
Stories travel a long way, and this place is a bit of a relic again. People didn't care, but now it seems this place almost it's like a beacon.
A beacon, you say?
Please explain a little further. What happened?
Well, a great villain took this keep, and he brave heroes claimed it again. But the keep is a name. That's the Citadel of the Nail.
Oh, I see.
So it was totally my PR that did that, though. That we're just just throwing that out there, everyone. That this is a Okay, we got that.
Thank you, Director. All right. So because the Citadel has regained some prestige, you believe the Nail would want it back.
Or an organization of law. They would fight for it.
Oh, I don't think that's necessary. And Enzo Cool will take out a cigarette and kind of place it in his mouth and take out a pad. Now, dear Armiger, sir, if you don't mind, I have a few questions concerning the legality of your claim on this here land. Is that okay, sir? Oh, I should introduce myself. I am Mr. Enzo Cool.
Cool.
Yep.
Very well. What's your question?
Yes. First, it is my understanding that this place was not yours up until a few maybe days or weeks ago.
That's correct.
That is correct, and you are now seeking to claim ownership of said residence.
Not quite.
Not quite. Can you be more?
To inform my order that it's their right to claim this land.
By
on top of it.
By what right is that again?
He'll stop for a second. He'll pull out a contract.
Oh.
And he'll actually walk over. There's an end table in the corner of this courtyard, and it's not too windy, so he'll confidently set it down for you to inspect.
Excellent. Thank you.
Bit of a
Thank you.
short table.
Sir.
Go far with it.
Of course, I will just be right here if yes, of course. And I will sit down and pull out my glasses and start looking.
Yeah, and he'll have his monologue while you're reading it. They'll read about the same. It's a deed. Citadel and the land surrounding it's owned by the Hell Knight Order of the Nail.
Who signed it?
In Vraid. You'll know where Vraid is. And he'll nod at you. You realize you both realize that you're natives to Varizia, I believe.
Oh. And who signed off on this again? Can you say the name one more time?
You'll read it. It's the name of the lictor of the order at the time.
So that's a bit of unfortunateness right there. Really, it's a land's owner who needs to sign off on such legal matters. Raker, can you take a look at this? I'm not entirely familiar with land ownership and such like that, but I do think a second pair of eyes might do this well.
Indeed. Do you want that shot or that check in the tower or the main thing?
Go ahead, just make it in the tower. Yep.
Oh, oops. Everybody can see my fail.
It was good times.
This is out of my depth.
I see. We'll have to, well, Mr. Arbinger, I believe if you have someone contesting your right concerning these lands, you should hire yourself a lawyer. I know a few good ones. I also know a few cheap ones.
So the Nail does not have domain over this citadel? That's what you're saying, Izuko?
It's Mr. Inzokul,
sorry.
if you may. There might be some litigation that might be had to question the validity of this document. But really, we need an expert on the matter, and looking around, other than my dearest Miss Reika here, I don't see anyone else who comes close to the understanding.
Reika, you can make a hero point. Skill reroll there if you'd like.
Wait, me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
You're fine.
All right, let's try this again. This time I'll roll it in the tower.
Yay, it's 40.
Well, you know something a little bit interesting in the wording there. It isn't about who wrote or signed the deed. See, that's where Enzokul is embarrassingly wrong. It has nothing to do with that. It is about who, and this is true because of the way Hell Knights like to they favor the most violent and egotistical solution to a problem. It is about whoever owns the deed, whoever possesses the deed, because you're dealing with the contracts made by Hell Knights, and they like to work with devils. Anybody who claims to own the deed owns the Citadel. It has nothing to do with real rights at all. This deed used to be locked up in a crypt far underground, only accessed by the Paralictor, because these contracts are so loose. I mean, you probably have heard stories, myths about a thief will break into someone's house and grab one of these devil deeds, and all of a sudden they own like a massive estate. But this is definitely one of them, and you can tell because it's signed by a devil on the bottom and the back. So go off.
Okay. So Jen understands this. This was our base, or that we were trying, or the goblins and everything like that.
Yes.
And then these dudes came in and claimed it back, and we are trying to get it back, right?
Yes, essentially. You guys did the dirty work, and you risked a lot going out to liberate the goblins and make this place safe again. And
okay,
when you guys left, he said, "You know what?
All right.
Why shouldn't I keep it?"
And how many of them are there?
There's only one. It's just
okay.
him, but he's polishing his armor. So.
And who is holding the deed right now?
Enzokul is leaning over it on the table.
What? Oh, okay. I was gonna say, I will be like, can I see that for a second and try to take it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, but I have to go because my grandma needs help.
Mhm.
So follow that up. I will whisper that to Rune.
Okay, so Rune catches it. Hmm.
Rune will simply use Mage Hand to scroll up or curl up the deed and slip it into his pocket. Look at Alec and say, based upon the rules of this deed, this citadel is now mine. Alec, you can leave. Or we can be allies. Your choice.
Make a diplomacy check. Or some other check. Whatever check you want. Shit. All right.
Alec, you helped us. I like that. I have no problem with you staying here, but this citadel is ours. To be completely honest, someone has well, the choice is yours.
Well, you have my gratitude, Rune. He's gonna look down at the signet ring. I even found a couple of important family heirlooms. My great uncle, he was an armiger. Just as
I'm
my
very
parents.
happy you found what you were looking for here.
I guess I got too distracted with the glory of finding things that were once lost. I thought I wouldn't stop there, but you own
Perhaps.
it. I'll honor the rule.
Fair. I presume we shan't see you or any of the Order of the Nail again then.
Not for anything related to this.
All right.
Oh,
Well,
what I
and he's
missed?
gonna start to unclip his armor, like he's gonna put it on.
Did I take the thing?
Rune took it with Mage
Yeah!
Hand when you whispered it and told him to scuttle off. A few minutes pass and he's fully armored, and he'll just tell Rune, think what you want about us, but next time you see an Asmodean, remember, we're not all sore losers.
Good to know. Next time you see another wizard, we're not all sneak thieves.
You comforted yourself with honor.
And with that, he'll head off. So the Citadel is safe for now.
They did
But,
it!
So
yeah.
you technically own it now.
Yeah.
We could maybe technically own it.
Well, here's how this
It
is
looks
going
like
to work.
It's in Rune's hands, so.
Yeah.
Here's how this is going to work. Rune will look at Reika. I need you, when we get back to town, to legitimize our ownership in something more concrete than this fucking document. Is that possible?
Of course.
Excellent. At which point, we will figure out how the ownership of this place will work. But for now, yes, it is mine.
I'm not there, right?
So now
Correct.
you've just told the goblins to bring the couch back inside.
Yeah,
because
okay.
There's no use.
All right.
So I will return and be like, so what is happening? Can the goblins stay here? I saw Alec leave.
So we can all stay. The Citadel is ours for now.
Legally, we now own it.
Oh.
The legality is a
Rune
bit
does.
loose. The legality is a bit loose, but we'll
No,
figure out.
It is perfectly legal. It is just binding is more arbitrary.
Yeah, well,
All right.
I would prefer not to have this document floating about too many places. So,
And so, what is the intention then? Because I don't want to leave this tribe without a place to stay.
well, of course they can stay here. That's not in question.
But they need some place that they can call their own. Having this, I was talking to them, and having that uncertainty was awful for them.
They can
Where's
be
Helga?
caretakers here. They can. This place is getting all built up. I mean, thanks to me, of course. But this place is busy. They could totally be caretakers and stay here. It's an idea, right? And a
Being
little donation bin
caretaker-
outside.
Being caretaker is not the same thing as having a place that is your own.
Helba
Where's
is
Helba?
inside in the bed.
Could
in
ask
the-
them.
in the barracks, essentially, the sleeping quarters.
I did ask them, and this is like,
All right. Well, here's my take. There are parts of this place that I absolutely want. By all accounts, it is mine to have. Now, I'm not rude. I have no desire to dismiss or move anyone out of anywhere. To be completely honest, the goblins were here first. But I would like to stake some claim to this place, given the work that we put in to secure it.
I can see your point. I just want to make sure that we give them a fair shake.
Absolutely. They were here before we were. They've called this place home for long enough. There's no reason that should change in any way, shape, or form. And not even as caretakers. That has too much of a nuance of servantism, and that's not really what I see them as in any way. Fact of the matter is, they could probably use our help to secure this place. We could use their help to keep it up and fix it up. So it's a mutually beneficial situation.
There's also the point that legally, it would probably be far easier to secure this with Rune as the face versus a goblin, because that is just the way human laws work.
That's true, but I think Helba's made a fairly decent name for herself in the town. Isn't that correct, Modica? Modica? Sorry.
I was going to say, who's Modica? Is that my new
Yeah, apparently it's
new
my new
moniker?
pronunciation.
Well,
Posh name.
Helba has become familiar, but I don't think. I think she has the same. She has the same problem as the council member who is a goblin has, where
Yeah, Sister Warball.
Sister Warball is. I have heard her referred to as a domesticated savage.
All right, well, we'll fix that then and make a appropriate representation for these people, given that they have done nothing here but attempt to survive. I think that's only fair. And a lot of us sit down with the sister, yourself, and us to hammer out a straightforward agreement.
I think that sounds fair.
All right, excellent. Looking at the rest of the group, minus Enzo because he's new. Does that seem fair to everyone else here?
Yeah. Good.
All right, then. Perfect. Now, what is going to happen is I've asked Reka, once we get back to town, to poke and prod at a more legitimate ownership. According to her, the current deed is based on devil's agreement, so it's fairly loose and open to interpretation.
No, it's quite clear.
It is an extremely open contract in that if you have the piece of paper, you owned the place.
Yes. Again, the legality and the terms are quite clear. It is the enforcement
All right. So we've moved past that particular problem. What is the next problem on our list?
Well, there is still we do eventually need to get into the areas that are collapsed. Rake and I have been drawn to that one area that the wall has collapsed and we can't get through.
Yes, and Master Anzakul would likely know way more about what particularly we would be looking at with whatever is in the depths of that.
All right. And this leads to a secondary conversation. Director.
Yeah.
Apparently there is a 20,000, or excuse me, there is a gold piece debt that you owe
Of a great sum.
of a great sum. Does that sound familiar?
No, maybe. I mean, I don't know. I don't like to cross hairs here. Like, let's what are we doing? Let's find out where that's
let's
going.
clarify that a bit. You in theory borrowed money from someone, created a thing with that money, but never paid that money back. Does that sound about accurate?
Okay, so like let's back up here. Let's back up. One,
Food and fire is so expensive, guys.
I don't think you understand the production value of what was trying to make. I was working with nothing. They were giving me nothing. Like a little bit of money, yeah, but the talent that I was hiring, what I was trying to do was create art, and nobody understood it.
Try to hire
Director, I have no doubt that you created the most beautiful work of theatrical art you could ever make.
I don't know. It was called
Only
Cats.
to be topped by The Unforgotten just yesterday.
Yeah.
Right? Am I right?
Yeah. No, you're right, kid.
All right. So the problem is, apparently there are those who, for some unknown reason, do not appreciate the art that you have created and instead want the money that you use to make said art.
How did you find all this out? Who told you?
That is a fantastic question. Mr. Nzoku, would you like to fill in the gap, please?
Oh, you asshole!
What? I am a huge fan of your work. I am merely fulfilling the prerequisites by which was provided by the law. I have briefly looked over the financial borrowing sheet that they had, and there was a great many of peculiar investment opportunities that they put into you. I think my favorite was just candy, spelled with a K though.
Yeah, there we go.
But that's
I needed champagne shots every day. Needed it for my artistic vision.
In the director's defense, when this investment came down, no one could predict the hall, the opera house in which the play is hosted, to have exploded just the following week in a disastrous attempt at a rebellion, and well, that basically cut nobody wanted to see a play after that.
It was
Star
so
backed
bad.
out
It was
because
so
apparently
bad.
she had.
Did
some
it
prior
did they get
dedication.
like Guy Fawked?
You know, a
Is
lot
that what
happened.
happened?
People
pirate
died,
How-
and people were afraid to see the opera for a while.
How long
Nobody
ago
knew
was
the
this play?
Yeah, how
It was
long?
about 20 years ago.
That was in my.
About 20
that
years
was my
ago.
Dadaism phase. I was not.
And it was the problem is that you accrued much interest due to your unwillingness to pay, but also your silver tongue keeping you from disappearing.
All right, so let's let me ask this just out of my curiosity. How much exactly does the director owe?
Oh, the director, when I last parted with my employers, the sum total was 20,000 gold pieces.
Oh God.
At which point, Corvus, my bird, just falls off my staff.
Yeah. I fall with him.
Moth's jaw drops.
Oh my. You know, let's not think about the numbers so much. Let's not think about all the zeros so much. It could be more zeros. There's a comma in there. And,
Well, the fact is that interest continues to gain on your account. So, by this time, yes, there would be more to that total.
No, you know what? I don't want to know. You know what? Let's. I'm gonna take a walk. Let's take a walk. I'm gonna go take a walk. He's gonna
Like,
start to,
it
walk
becomes
away.
one of those things where, like, a clawed hand just, grabs the collar casually.
Yeah.
I think there is more to this conversation, Drew, that I would like you to stay for.
I don't think I need to.
I think you do. You're the star
20,000.
of this conversation.
I don't want to be.
Harlong.
I'm better behind it. I'm better behind the curtain.
Yes. So,
Mr.
As a-
Enzicle, at what point are you forced to bring the director back?
Oh, I'm not really a forceful person. More so, I am to ascertain the assets that Mr. Director has. See if any of them could be filled as payment for the debt, almost like a settlement of sorts, and then return said items back to my employers. But honestly, after gauging Mr. Director, I don't think he really has anything that would.
Whoa.
It's no offense on your part. It's just 20,000 is a very large sum, and well, I don't see anything close to that sum.
Okay, I get what you're doing. I get the jab here. Okay,
It's
so
not
how
a
about
jab.
I give you 20 gold and 9 pounds of caltrops. Will that do it?
Did you say 9 pounds?
I don't question. Okay, and an egg. The egg I wasn't gonna throw that in there because it's my last one, but you can have it. So that's
Director, you have 9 pounds of caltrops?
We've established he's not great with money.
I think it's now established.
perhaps.
9 pounds of caltrops?
You never know where you're gonna run out.
With,
When you run
Rune,
out?
Rune.
When you owe
Rune,
people that much money.
Rune, let us focus on what is important here. Director. And Master Enzicle. Is it possible, perhaps, that we could barter our services as a group to liberate the Director from this debt?
Oh, Reka, you just offered everybody. I love you. You're great.
I am sure there is something. If I can find value in the work that could then be brought back to my employers, I see no reason.
So I am more than willing to help out the director as best as I can. When it comes to the money I earn, however, I have to call foul. Now, I am more than willing to help the director earn more money by giving the director stories to tell and create, allowing the director to, you're clearly capable. You've helped us so far. There's no reason why you can't continue to do so and earn your keep that way. What you do with your money from that point, however, is up to you.
That is fair. Mr. Director, how much money have you earned in the past week?
Oh, I gotta think about it. Well, I did make some modest income from the theater and from the play of the Unforgotten. Modest.
How much? How much?
Does the director have any idea of how much he made or how much that the play made?
These people don't have a lot of money. It was more of a service.
Yeah, I didn't think he actually was like.
Yeah,
donation
more
bit
on
up
the
at
supply
top.
side than the demand side of the calculation. You probably made like 6 gold, 7 gold from the.
Oh yeah, that's 6 gold. Well, no, that's not. I got nothing. That show wasn't a money maker per se. I was getting the name out there, getting you guys set up. I was getting you guys really, really good. We're talking, not a lot. Like 6 gold, 5 gold, maybe. It's closer to 4 gold actually.
Okay.
All right. There's something here. How about this? Somewhere beneath this citadel lies an elf gate.
An elf gate.
A trade route, an old magical trade route. If the director was to earn a portion of that trade route, perhaps those funds could be transferred to pay off their debt.
Vern, you're really smart.
Yeah, sure. I mean, as long as I ascertain that said objects would be able to pay, I see no reason why we can't. I would
It's
like
less about the object paying, but more of the consistent flow of trade funds that could occur based on where it goes.
Yes.
Yeah, the assumption here is that, so 20,000 gold, to put it in perspective, is an obscene amount of money.
What did I do?
It's like the equivalent of like how some people get a couple $1 million of credit card debt, where it's beyond the idea of really paying it off. It's just about having a different lifestyle for the rest of your life.
I play games to escape my life, Ian. This is a little bit too...
Well, there's a plan involved. Yeah, I know, it's like GTA 5. In the
Yeah, for
beginning. Yes, it's a good thing you didn't obtain the contract on your own name, though. I mean, you have that going for you. You didn't like gain something worth your debt and then lose it all in a day. Let's not. But yeah. So the idea is they know you're not worth 20,000 gold because you might not ever make 20,000 gold, but you're worth milking for money. So you're just going to be broke for a while.
Yeah. So you're like an indentured servant right now.
Oh, great.
Yeah, you travel.
You're now irrevocably tied to Mr. Inzukul.
Oh. Well, at least you like my plays. Got that going for you.
What?
All right. So, Mr. Inzukul, are you willing to traipse about with us to ensure that the money the director earns, or at least a portion of it, goes to pay off this debt until such time as it is paid in full, at which point you can do whatever you like?
Well, of course, that's my secondary task. I'm more so curious about the amulet that Miss Reika has, as well as this gate that you speak of down below.
I appreciate your curiosity.
As such things are important to my people, its history, and if there is indeed a gate down here, I'm curious to see why exactly it is here.
Well, we're not quite sure how. Actually, no, I believe the Order of the Nail built the Citadel, but we're not quite sure what civilization was here prior to that. Given how old the elf gates were and their rarity today, I mean, there's no telling how long it's been here or how long it's been out of use. So, yes, that's where we're at now. So, the goblins have a place to stay, as he looks to Monica. Everything good there, then? All right.
Sorry, there's lots of thunder and lightning, so...
Oh, that's fine. The director, you owe a massive amount of gold to an unknown entity, of which we will continue to traipse about, and hopefully you will be able to pay that off sooner versus later. We'll see. Reika, you have found an old friend. That's good. Mr. Inzokul, you have found your charge, and an old charge and a new charge, yes. I guess. And we now have a citadel. So, what's next? I'd call this a winning of a day.
Oh, well, I believe it's time to start this investigation.
Right. Well, and now that we're thinking about the investigation again, we remember a loose end. Voz disappeared and did so with frustrating ease. Not without a trace, but yet we can find out where she went. So, question is, where is she? And further, maybe it's a good idea to bring Enzakul to the scene. Bring him to the bookshop. See what he can find.
Warn him about the trap.
Yes.
Don't tell him about the door. Don't tell him about the door.
Too
Don't
soon.
try that door.
Too soon.
Try it. It's great. Oh, you
So-
didn't make it. Oh, too bad, guys. Too bad.
I will lose 3 characters to that trap.
Did we take the documents from Vaz's little basement layer, right?
Yes, you did. The door, it was a spell slug. You walk 10 feet, 20 feet away from a door and drop a slug, tell it to the door to go to, and by the time it reaches the door dissolves in acid as it breaks apart. They're super rare and hard to get, but they can break just about anything that's trapped. So that's what you did. It took it a long time to get there, but when it finally did, you had time to grab the documents, but that was the night of the play. You haven't really had time to read them yet.
Okay. We can go to one of 2 aspects of the scene. There was the one end of the tunnel that resides below here, or we could go all the way back to town. I'm inclined to go to the end of the tunnel that resides here.
We never cleared that out, so.
Yeah,
that might be a
so
good
while we're here, we might as well go ahead.
Indeed.
Agreed. All right then, back down to the tunnels.
Right.
And then I guess I would also ask, like Monica, like, hey, Enzo Cool was the one to give me my amulet. It's possible he has information about yours, but that's, your
Your
secret to
amulets
tell.
start to.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're talking
sway.
to me now?
The amulets
I don't understand.
pull towards each other.
So our necklaces are going towards each
Yeah,
other?
they get along swimmingly.
Yeah.
To contrast.
The moment you found out that Enzo Cool was this person that saved you, you basically forgot I existed. And that was pretty rude.
I have met some. I thought he was dead 40 years ago. I'm sorry we had catching up to do.
Well, I thought it was rude and it hurt my feelings. I actually have feelings,
I am not good at talking to people or doing any of this emotion stuff. This is my best.
Well, if we're both trying our best, we can try. I finally thought you and I had figured things out, and then you were just... Anyway, it doesn't matter.
So you reach the tunnel.
Help me to understand, because I don't.
We reached the tunnel. We're still having a conversation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Halfway through the tunnel.
Yeah.
Having a conversation.
So you and I were on the same page. We didn't trust this individual, and then all of a sudden, without explanation to anyone, you changed your opinion and were immediately like, "This, I trust this man with my life," and no explanation was given.
Enzo, go ahead and use your ability. Use
All right.
on
Yeah.
the scene, maybe clue in.
Yeah, I will do on the scene.
All right.
So.
And that lets you act as a free action, right?
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
gives me a +1.
The equivalent of a. Oh, that was bad. You did a bad job on that one, on that check.
No. Can I hero point it?
Yeah.
Cool.
So many decades ago, I was raised by the
Even worse.
Yakushe. And with them, it was the closest that I have known a home. Somewhere permanent and somewhere safe. And one day, the tribe was attacked by something, and Enzo Cool, he was much different back then. He was strong and full of looked warrior's vigor. He took me from the carnage and placed me on the ship with the medallion. And
I don't know what or why they were attacked. He said the whole tribe was wiped out from that. But this medallion has some sort of connection with those enemies. And I believe that it is my fault that they came. So, as I said, I owe him my life.
I'm sorry that you had to relive those memories. And I wish we were always able to read each other's minds, because that would make a lot of things easier.
I am unused to being in the same space with the same group of people. I've been more used to always being on the move and always...
I know. That's I used to be too. Was always traveling everywhere. Never stay in one place for more than a couple of days. Yeah, that's just the way. You couldn't depend on anybody else. The only person that you could depend on was yourself.
Exactly.
See, that part I understand. And that's why when you changed, I was upset and alarmed. But I think I understand a little bit better now. And I thank you for telling me.
I am sorry that I was just overcome in the moment.
That's allowed.
I'm not used to these feelings.
Feelings are hard. That is true. That is true. But anyway, I'll get over it.
But anyway, as I was saying,
as you were saying,
if there is any who would have an idea about, and she would point to the necklaces we're trying to.
our necklaces are just keeping us real close together, and it's a little awkward, but we're making it work.
Yeah, actually,
especially with the height difference. Imagine it's like, so anyway, heart-to-heart discussion.
Yeah.
Ladies, the necklaces you have actually have a great bit of importance to my people. You see, they depict the battle between Dohak and the Ukajai.
It does.
Yes, quite a fierce battle that it really defines my people for the most part.
I see.
Yes, it's curious that you have it. Can I may I examine them closer, preferably by touching them?
Yeah. So and you'll remember particularly the one amulet represents the elf Kedifis, and the other amulet represents the hawk. Reka has the amulet of Dahak. You remember her having it when she first left the village, and you know the other piece of the amulet must have come from the same village. It was of great import at the time, but the pieces became separated on that day. So it's quite fateful that they found each other again. But now you understand why, now that there's this magnetism between them.
Do you mind if we put them together? I think this might be a very momentous occasion. They've been searching for each other all this time.
Oh no, the momentous occasion was when Reika and I first met.
Oh, yes, of course. From
do you think that the pieces coming together is what woke up whatever.
Woke up what?
Isn't that what was mentioned when we first came in, that something had woken? Or is Jen crazy?
I don't remember the context.
The knight was saying, or maybe the goblins, I don't remember.
Well,
Yeah.
it's certainly something to be
Yeah.
afraid of. The dragon cult arriving is relatively new.
Okay.
That has happened this year, and we're only in spring. Whether or not that has anything to do with the amulet, you know it doesn't because you've had the amulet for a long time. But whether or not the events that led to you fleeing your homeland might have something to do with the amulets. There's a lot of potent magic there.
Okay.
So you have to be careful. Nevertheless, you reach the end of the tunnel, and it leads just where you expect. Roxy Den told you that it led to the basement of the Pickled Ear, and in her endless apologies, that's when she let you guys use the Pickled Ear to host your event. That led to all of this shenanigans, and you guys are back in Breach Hill.
Oh. So
there's nothing exciting along the corridor.
Not particularly. It was just a hand-dug tunnel. Perhaps there was some magic involved, but the path, it did corkscrew around, so it looked like whoever was using it, they had some sort of scrying magic to know when they were about to hit a rock or something. They managed to carve out only the softest soil, and it would take some serious skill to be able to dig a tunnel and let it lead to where you want if you're that windy. It's hard enough to do it in a straight line, so took a lot of skill. It's definitely got Voz's fingerprints all over it, so to speak.
Has the two amulets come together yet?
You haven't put them together yet.
Yeah, I'm like, can I can you two put it together?
I take mine off and hold on to it to put it together with Reika's.
Right. You start to glow and buzz a little bit as they get closer, and then they shake. It starts to feel volatile. And as you come over to put them together, despite the magnetism and how badly they want to click together, they won't, because as they meet, that force becomes repulsion. They cannot touch. And you start to feel the heat radiate off of them. Like
take
an
mine
anger
back.
as you try to.
Yeah. Rika just kind of like squints at it.
Can I make some sort of check to figure out why they aren't coming together?
Go ahead.
What check?
Well, religion or arcana.
And I will make this my case, so I get a +1.
Right. Well, you did excellent on the arcana here. This isn't the kind of amulet that you wear, especially because it's 2 pieces. So it implies some sort of ritual. You're missing a component. It would be like throwing a spell casting component in the air, and expecting magic to happen. You don't have all of the pieces of the puzzle, and that's why you're getting friction. Sometimes it can be dangerous too with potent magic. So. You have to be careful.
Yes.
But as you're, I don't know who's got the notes here from Voz. As you're reading it, you learn she has a great disdain for everything about Breach Hill, despite putting on a facade and seeming like a lovely local before she vanished. And she mentions the Triad once, having been in their archives, having a correspondence with them, but doesn't mention the Cinder Claws, even though she must be implicated in some reason, in some way, and she mentions Alcetta's ring by name.
The rune would have tossed out these documents once they reached Breach Hill.
Right. Yep, and her story lines up pretty well with Roxy Den's. She's not implicated in anything. She just thought that she was in need of a secret tunnel. She's not very smart, though. So, and it even says in the notes that she was traveling, Voz was traveling between Breach Hill and the secret crypt many times, which...
And Rune
Tell
will
them.
specifically point out her note on Alesta's ring that the Triad is paying for the information. Is paying big for information.
Why would
Take
the
note of that.
Triad be inquiring about it? Mr. Director, you never really explained the Triad.
I don't care anymore. I don't know anything about them.
Oh, okay.
I was leading you on.
Oh.
The only thing I know about them again is that, as I was, stating, that they are a group that you don't ask questions about where others can hear.
Yeah, because then you end up dead.
So
Right.
I am curious how you came to find out about them, because that in and of itself is very strange.
It's just during my investigations, nothing really more than that. Though I do feel that they are associated with the Cinder Claws, which were the people who wiped out my particular tribe.
The Cinder Claws wiped out your tribe?
Yes.
Oh, isn't that coincidental?
Is it?
Well,
They're the same.
Go ahead.
No, you, Monica.
The Cinder Claws were the dragon cultists that were terrorizing the Bumblebrush goblins.
Then we must kill them.
I am in
Well, we
total
have to
agreement.
get to them first.
Yes.
We killed some of them, but there's more deeper into the crypt area that we can't get to because of the cave-in.
Right. So it begs the question. If you guys want to, I don't know. Where do you think Voz went?
Well, where are the
Guardian
locations associated with the person?
So Rune will point this out. You guys are examining these documents, probably just on the main floor of the Pickled Ear, because it's convenient and you've walked a very long distance in a very stuffy place, and there's a lot of talking and everyone's hungry now. But he'll point out at the end of Voz's notes, mentions it, 2 words, Guardian's Way. If you're not keen, you might think it's like a metaphor or figure of speech, but it looks like it's a location. Voz isn't that
Would that
sharp
be
after all.
nature, arcana?
Guardian's Way. I mean, local could point you in
Local.
the right direction. If you're looking at a lore.
I look to the director.
Help you there.
I'm thinking.
I will let Rune make a society check.
That's fair.
This related. Guardian's Way. Maybe see big money. It rings a bell, Rune, but it eludes you. And the director, you don't know where it is, but you know it's nearby, and you know who would know.
I don't know exactly where it is, but I know that it's in the area, and who would know? Who would know?
That would be Noreen Howardell.
Noreen Howardell.
Yeah. So right after lunch, if the group wants to head over to the lumber worker.
Well, I'm going to go put Aldonis away first.
Rune will
good
follow Monica.
Director's following.
We don't get a minute alone. I'm sorry.
Once the 2 of them are away from the group, I got the inkling you know something more about this organization.
Oh, the White Claws?
No.
Oh,
The tribe.
No, it's mostly there are superstitions out there, and superstitions come sometimes from true things. So I tend to, I don't walk under ladders. I do everything to avoid broken mirrors, and as adorable as black cats are, I avoid them under the full moon.
So you're a halfling.
Yeah, I know. I'm very
Do you know nothing
superstitious.
of the triad then?
Nothing that would help us. Just I know that it's always spoken of in hushed whispers, if at all. My Oda was very strict about not speaking about those who could bring ill toward our shire.
Rune
Especially
clearly
with halflings, they tend to go missing.
Rune just sort of watches you for a moment, effectively doing a sense motive kind of thing.
Sure.
Before dismissing it.
Yeah, no, I'm being 100% honest.
He just puts his hand up. No, it's fine. I trust you.
How are you doing, by the way? There's been a lot of things, and I know I was a little confrontational earlier.
Oh, well. Changes tend to throw people for a loop. I'm perfectly fine. Thank you for asking.
You know you don't have to pretend to be fine if you're not.
I appreciate that, Monica. Thank you. I'm all right. This is there's a lot of questions to be answered, and I'm a very curious individual, so my interest is piqued.
Hey, when does that book have to go back to the I think it's the consortium?
What book?
Which book?
The dragon book. The dragon book has to be returned at some point.
I think it was purchased.
Was
Maybe
it
a rental? Yeah, it might be due up soon. Those books take a long time to move through, and often they're rented to copy. So you'll have it for at least a few more months.
Okay.
It's so expensive to move them anyway. They'd rather just hang on to them for a long time.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and as you arrive, you see a woman you suspect to be Noreen Howardell. Maybe she's cellist, maybe a bit Olfin, but she's loading a log onto a saw. And as she's loading it, she's just going to call out. She'd say, "Oh, you, Rune.
Yes.
Help me with this."
Oh, all right.
Make a strength or athletics check.
What exactly is she trying to lift?
A log onto a wood cutting saw.
Oh, all right.
Got it.
All right.
I was gonna assist him with Mage Hand if he couldn't do it. Like, I got you, bro.
She says, "I pegged you for a farmer underneath those robes."
It's been a long time.
Yeah, but it never leaves you. What can I help you with?
Well, actually, we have some questions for you. Have you heard of the Guardian's Way?
Guardian's Way. This was a fort. Some day ago, the Goblin Blood Wars, they used to hold up in there to fight between skirmishes.
How far away from here?
About 5 miles.
Not bad. Which direction?
It says on market.
Thank you. What are you trying to do here?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I work here.
But yeah, but what are you doing exactly? I'm just cutting up the lumber.
Husband's a carpenter. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Carpenter, you say?
Yeah.
I have something I'd like you to look at. I think you can make it better.
What's that?
Well, there was a bit of a harness that I crafted up for a friend of mine. It's a bit shoddy, I think, but I think maybe you might be able to take a look at it, clean it up a bit, make it a bit more streamlined, maybe.
Oh, for Aldatis?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, that's so kind to think of you. Yes. Well, you've seen my warg and the wheels that he has for his back legs.
We don't have to talk about it now, but I had some ideas about making some braces along the hind legs and the wheels attached to the bottom so that they're a bit more free from the overall harness.
Mm. I fathom it'll make him look a bit like a chariot, but
I think he likes it though.
But that can be a discussion for another day.
course.
Guardian's Way, 5 miles in X direction.
yes, and well, if you get lucky, maybe you can see. I'm sure it's no surprise to you. And bandits come to town to hole up somewhere. They still like to visit to enjoy the comforts. That's why they wear masks after all. So if you keep a good eye out, maybe you can follow some of them out. See, they might retreat to their hiding hole and do us all here in Breach a favor and kill them.
Oh.
Because they're no good.
All right then. Fair enough. Thank you. I really appreciate your help.
Farewell.
Rune will turn back to the group. It occurs to me as I was talking to our friend here.
As he
we left our
drops his
horses back at
Chelish
the-
farmer accent.
We left our horses back at the Citadel.
We did.
Yes.
All right then. Shall we go back through the tunnel or shall we just walk there?
I think going through the tunnel is the safest way if we can't, if we're all not on
I would
horseback.
wholly agree. Out of curiosity, is the mark that she put on the map further closer to the Citadel or further from?
It'll be the same distance at either point.
Ah, gotcha. All right. Well,
Yeah.
fair enough.
But once you're on a horse, it doesn't matter.
This is true.
Well. All right. Anything that the group would like to get from town before they leave?
Can I go to the bower and trade out my longbow for a short bow?
Yes. There's not any good Fletchers here, but you know Vusker used to be a Fletcher before he decided to sell carts. He's the guy who sold you spit, and he'll trade you.
All right, so I do that, and I'll
Yep.
have to figure out how to do that in Fantasy Grounds. But
Yep, I can help you with that. So you guys head out down through the tunnel. When you arrive back at the Citadel, the goblins seem to be in good spirits. They're plugging up holes, fixing a couple things. They're acting like they're in a spot that they're comfortable with. You'll notice even a couple of them, for some reason, have decided to take shifts as like a makeshift guard
Aww.
between the battlements, which isn't very strategic because they have to stand on the wall of the battlements in order to get a good view of anything. But they much enjoy it, and I think actually you can hear the sound somewhere over the hill as you guys head out on your horses. You can hear the sound of a couple of goblins trying to hack down a tree somewhere nearby. Those echoing chops. But it's about late afternoon when you guys get near Guardian's Way, and just as she pointed out, you notice a bit of an opening. So where two hills meet in this weird shaded valley, you notice a couple of artificial structures cleverly camouflaged. Maybe a tree house, or maybe it's a standing structure, you don't know, but if you hadn't known you were looking for something, you probably would have missed it. And I guess that was the point during the Goblin Blood Wars, because humans needed as many opportunities to shelter away from goblins as they can, so they would take caves and seal them off. And that's what you're thinking this might be. So what do you guys want to do?
It's a good scout.
Yeah, we should probably check that out.
Let's secure the horses then.
Yep.
I want to take Aldonis with me. Aldonis is my other weapon. Yeah.
I will send Corvus ahead to just kind of scope it out. Corvus has speech, flyer, and dark vision.
Okay, so Corvus, as he flies over, he finds that it's a compound. So there is a cave. In front of the cave is a standing building made of hewn stone and fortified. And then you have a couple of tree houses also along. So all around, it's like a well-rounded structure. Definitely looks like it's been used recently. It's not run down. If you wanted to explore one of these buildings, you can. As you guys are being strategic about it.
Yeah, he'll take a, as long as he doesn't see anyone particular guarding, he'll poke his beak in and see what's going on.
Yeah, it looks to be some figure, probably a hobgoblin, maybe a small half-orc. Looks to be sleeping in the middle of that treehouse.
He will quietly hop out and fly back.
Excellent. So what do you guys want to do?
Well, we could go and talk to it, as we have seen. Not every creature that is monstrous is as hostile as they appear.
Of course, will pipe up. But the Holbies, or the people said the Holbies hurt them.
That's true.
Right, and as you guys look, you see out of the standing building, a goblin pokes its head out and waves to you guys, and actually was waving for you to come over, but then abandons it and then decides to just come walk out a bit.
Is this where I was helping out during my downtimes?
No.
Okay.
You didn't go out this far. This is about 6 miles out of town, and yeah, the goblin comes over to you and says, "My name is Yolt. How can I help you?"
We are looking for the Guardian's Way.
Well, this is it. I think I've heard about you. I heard some stories from town. You
Has someone
care
come here
about our
recently? A woman by chance?
A woman, I don't know. I don't suppose, though I'm not here very often. I'm usually trapping.
What stories did you hear again? And how good were they?
Nervous. The story was okay. I suppose maybe I didn't quite get it. The man towards the end, it was confusing, but you seem to really care about my kind.
Yeah,
That's
sure,
true.
whatever. That's fine. I'm kidding.
If you'd like to speak to the leader of my tribe, I'm sure they'd be happy to have you.
Certainly. And what is your name, friend?
Yolt.
Yult. Okay. Yes, please. It is very important that we find this woman who we believe came this way.
Of course. I don't like to think too much about this place. As she gestures, there's a couple of tree houses and a building, but it's also kind of built like a fortress. These tree houses are outposts.
Yeah.
Once upon a time, humans would pick at us from the trees using dirty magic, and I hate to think of what they thought of goblins then.
Well, you can rest assured that no one in our company holds you in anything but respectable regard.
Yes, would you like a biscuit? I have a little bit of extra, if you would like. But nonetheless, we are all quite kind people, I believe.
She turns around and she says, "An extra biscuit."
Yes.
Well, I suppose we'll be taking that too. And she snaps her fingers and grows about 2 feet in size. Gray skin, you see a scar just emerge on the left side of her face, and a cloak just appears. You hear this sound of figures, larger humanoid figures dropping into the soft, lush grass behind you.
And then Zokul is like digging through his pack for like the other cookies. Like, oh, I think I have another one here.
Rune just watches.
Okay.
watches her shapeshift, and he just sort of nods.
Yeah.
Well played. Well played.
This is gonna be a pain to recreate.
Will all of you guys be eating cookies?
I think we're just
you're gonna
taking
kill
heads
us.
tonight.
What?
And that's where I'm going to end it, guys.
Okay.
Murder!
Get ready for murder. I'll see you next week
Murder.
because it's a good follow-up.
Yeah.
Woo! Look at that.
Well, damn.
I'm not gonna say I
That was
didn't know how much the director was in debt, but I didn't know how much the director.
I forced your backstory because
You
I thought
did.
it was a lot funnier that way.
It is. It's wonderful.
Props to Ian for dangling the Modica fruit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
totally.
So, you guys are going to level up to level 3 for next session.
What?
We might live. We
Yeah.
might live.
Use
I
your
might
level
not
wisely.
die again.
Ah.
I'm gonna
Is this
die.
Is this the one that you guys had fought before then? Or
No.
like
No.
Oh,
No, this
okay.
is new.
Okay.
That's the problem with being famous.
Yeah.
People just
Everybody
find
wants
you.
to kill you.
Yeah, I
Thank
feel
you
like
for
I
finding me
should
dead.
go low on the initiative because I'm still looking for that cookie that they want. I'm just like, I'm sure I have more here. And then I'm gonna like go up and be like,
Or
why
naive.
is everyone fighting? Oh no!
Woo. Well,
Jiminy.
I'm gonna do our send off so people can get some sleep this Sunday night. Let's start with Mitchell because I really loved your new character.
Oh, thank you. That was a very touching moment I had with Jennifer's character, especially when you're like, "Oh hey, I trust you, yo."
Well, yeah, I was proud of the I don't have tear ducts, but I would be crying.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, you're the best. What a wizard.
And then, so for the director,
Oh man.
how do you feel about your character? I really dropped a lot on you.
You did, but I love him. No, I think it fits in very well with his who he is and what his ideals are for life and everything. For doing sentence, I'm Alex. Come check me out tomorrow here on Cult, where we find out if my other character is dead.
1, 2,
Yeah.
3. Yes, we'll all
R.I.P.
be
Hans.
there. Mr. Smith will be there in secret as a secret agent, causing calamity.
Agent man. Okay. anyway.
Spence.
Oh, hey, it's my turn. I live here. So yeah. Monica is finding all of these soft spots now that
I know.
she's got Aldonis. It's like, oh, I can connect to things. So that's a thing. I think the only one she hasn't connected to other than Enzo is the director. But you know, she
Do you want
bla-
9 pounds of caltrops?
she
Massive
blames
debt.
the director for making her famous.
Yeah.
You can catch me here tomorrow for Cult, along with 4 of our 5 other peoples. And Tuesday we are doing the 1-page one-shot, which is Sexy Battle Wizards. You want to be here for it. It's gonna be so good. And then Wednesday through Saturday, you can find me on my Twitch stream, Resident Moon, twitch.tv/President Moon.
It's
And
gonna be
Jen,
awesome.
How do you feel about Reika so far at
Uh,
level 3?
yeah. So I guess first of all, I didn't anticipate that I would have to talk about my backstory so quickly. So that was kind of
Yeah.
cool. And also, suddenly having like a feeling was weird. And yeah, I don't know. It was really fun. Like, again, thinking, like you start off just like this is the way it's gonna go, and then you get a curveball, and that was a good time.
Welcome to every session I've ever ran of every
it
game
was
I've ever played.
super fun. Yeah.
Well done.
But I am Savage Sparrow on the internet. you can find me on my own Twitch channel at Savage Sparrow. Otherwise, I run an awesome t-shirt company for nerdy apparel and things. This weekend, in fact, we're doing another sale for the canceled Anime Detour. So a bunch of my really popular designs from that show are on sale already. So like the Do You Even Pose JoJo shirt, the Persona 5 shirts, I think I have a Dark Souls shirt in there, like a bunch of, like there's 6 designs that are really popular on sale. And then you can save another 10% with the code NurgleHugs. And then I will also be on Cult tomorrow. And finally, this coming weekend, Gehenna Gaming is doing a virtual horror convention. And I will be like e-vending at that. So there'll be like a special promo code for people who check out that stream for my site. And also, like, in general, the con is going to be pretty cool. They have a bunch of writers from Onyx Path Publishing. They're going to be running World of Darkness stuff, Cult, and other cool, awesome stuff. Yeah.
Cult!
Last
Yes!
but certainly not least, Mr. Smith with the Wizard Rune. How do you
Hello,
feel so far
I'm
at
Mr.
level
Smith.
3?
Yes. Tonight's roleplay was amazing. I always enjoy the inter-party, one-on-one interactions, group stuff. That was good stuff. You can find me and my random musings on cybersecurity, psychology, gaming at IamMrSmith.com. Do go and enjoy. But I'm definitely looking forward to the next game. Thank you, Ian, for another wonderful, wonderful game.
Woo!
I honestly, to be completely honest, I expected half of these hooks to tear the party apart and really butt heads, but then it got all like touching and stuff, and and I didn't expect that because like usually like people like kill each other over like fruit or something, like just like random stuff, and then
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, this person has a lifetime
20,000.
debt, and then everyone's like, we'll figure it out. Okay.
Exactly. Like, I wish this was like real life. Like, you'd be like,
Right?
oh,
Wow.
you have to, let's all work and get this. Like,
Well, it's like the way I look at it at this point, it's like my character's just like, Smith will be, or Rune will make these decisions. Like,
Rune is like
Figure it out.
I don't want to deal with the hassle of figuring that out. Rune will
classroom
figure it out.
PTA mom, like helping us
Yeah,
all out.
Exactly. You know,
our
Reika's
horrible
just
issues.
like, the less I have to talk to people and figure out their bullshit, the happier I am.
I think he's definitely the youngest person in the group.
He
Everyone
is.
trying to figure it all
Yeah,
out.
but I feel like he's the most socially well-adjusted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Congrats. It's from going to college.
It's a good thing.
I also wanted to make clear that Reika and I were just butting heads because we were the same person
Yeah,
from last
yeah,
session.
that's
So,
true.
you know, that's
One of us
why
has to change.
I like that there was some downtime so that Reika and
Yeah.
I could like resolve our differences.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
it'll be
was
great.
really fun.
Woo! Well,
Um,
I have been Ian for this, the Game Master. You can catch me here every single week. We stream at the same time, which is 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. So that right now that's UTC -4. Also catch me every other Monday, including tomorrow's Monday, doing Cult Black Madonna, which I absolutely adore. Yeah, also just like subscribe to this channel to attend all of
Above
the fun.
Mr. Smith's head.
Yeah. Also, I want to give a thanks to our sponsor, Fantasy Grounds. They have been the absolute best way to play Pathfinder 2nd Edition, and I have played all the ways to play Pathfinder. We have been totally loving it so far. Also, another thank you to the Only Sheep. You can see Rune and his character and his spells are all being managed there, and it is super smooth. And I think that's it. So good night, everybody.
Bye.
I'm gonna go drink Dr. Pepper and plan.